but it's okay.
The Washington County Quorum Court is called to session. Good evening. We're going to go ahead and get kicked off. We're going to have J.P. Bowman lead us with a pledge and a prayer.
Lord, we thank you for your presence with us, and we just ask you to provide us with wisdom and discernment in making decisions that's best advantage of this county and the population of the county. Lord, we know we have lots of tough decisions to make on a routine basis, and we just ask for your guidance in that whole situation. And we lift up our friend, Brother Lundstrom, and loss of his wife. And I just ask you to embrace that family and demonstrate your love and care for them. We ask all these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, alrighty. Adoption of the agenda. I'll take a motion. I have a motion by Justice Madison, a second by J.P. Dennis to adopt the agenda. All in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Adoption of the agenda is preliminary motions.
I know that we suspend the rules this evening and read the ordinances by title.
There's been a motion to suspend the rules. It's been seconded by J.P. Dennis. All in favor? Aye. And those opposed?
No.
All right. And citizen comments. At this time, we invite citizens to come and visit with us here at the court. We have a 15-minute earmark for that, but you have 3 minutes to come and share. Give us your thoughts about what you see and what you want to share with the county. Any citizen comments? Ms. Belford.
I need to sit.
State your name.
My name is Angela Belford. And is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
And I live in West Fayetteville. Thank you for having me. This is my first time to Quorum Court. I wanted to comment on the fact that you guys are about to work on your budget in the next few weeks. And I am an advocate for people experiencing homelessness. When I was 14, I was a client for Salvation Army. And in Northwest Arkansas, the only way that you survive being homeless is we need public transportation. And I believe that as I sit and listen to your prayer, where you pray that you ask for discernment, that it's important to look to what Jesus has told us about how important it is for us to stand up. And in Matthew 25, he said, I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty, you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. And he said, when was I hungry? And when you did as to the least of these, you did to me. And I believe that when we stand up and say that we are a Christian community, that we're a Christian nation, and that we stand as Christians, that we have to apply this to how we vote, to how we take care of people, to how we spend our money, and how we give our time. We have an opportunity to use our time and our talent and our treasure. And when you look at an opportunity to take your voice and the money that you have access to be able to help fund transportation, I think it's an opportunity to apply this and apply what we say that we believe to help the least of these. And so as you look at the budget over the next few weeks and over the next few years, I hope that you will consider the people that are experiencing homelessness and know that they are vulnerable. And you can believe that it's because they need to get a job or they need to quit doing drugs. But I will tell you that look at how much it costs to have pay rent here in Northwest Arkansas. And if you're making $10 an hour, I would like for you to find a place to go and rent. And so please consider the least of these as you look at your budget. Thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Belford. Citizen comments. Okay. Item 6, approval of the minutes. I'll take a motion. All right. J.P. Madison has made a motion to approve minutes. It's been seconded by J.P. Harbinson. All in favor? Those opposed? Judge's report, and the only piece I really wanted to share was the last visit we had was on the Crisis Stabilization Unit. We did submit an application to Endeavor regarding the Crisis Stabilization Unit for funding for construction, and so that is now waiting on them. They're going through that process. They'll be visiting with their board, and we'll get that response hopefully sometime in November, if not sooner. But anyway, that's where we are in regards to budgeting dollars, grant dollars coming from out of the Endeavor Foundation. Other than that, all systems are go. And that's the way we have most of our time has now been spent around working with JP Ussery and budgets. So I think all eyes and ears have been lined up on budgets, and so that's where the judge's report will end, just all on around the center of budget. So item 8, JP Patterson, we have them. Go ahead and hit item number 8. Go ahead and go ahead.
I'm going to take item number 8. We have. Would you read the title, please?
An emergency ordinance ratifying a conditional use permit granted by the Planning and Zoning Board.
We have some folks that are looking to come in and they're wanting to start a church. And there may be somebody here that wants to speak.
Is there anyone from here, Heritage Fellowship? Come on, Mr. Thurman, Pastor.
If he would come and sit and speak and
State
tell
your
him
name.
your name, please.
I'm Arthur Thurman.
And just tell us a little bit about your church.
Our church is a Southern Baptist church. We were formed in late 2015, early 2016, so we've been meeting for we're almost to our 3-year anniversary. We'd like to build a building. We've submitted plans to the planning board and have worked through the county processes, through county planning, worked with the fire marshal, and have gotten a plan together that the staff supports, that the planning board has given us lots of guidance, and we have a plan together to move forward in the construction of that facility. Our facility is located, for those of you that are very, very familiar with this area, if you imagine Highway 412 east heading toward Huntsville, once you cross the lake, the bridge there, if you look up on the hill to your left, up on the horizon, that's where the church would be located. So it'd be a very, very visible location. We have 12 acres of land along Highway 412 at Blue Springs Road. So it's unimproved property that we would ask for your consideration of allowing us to move forward with building the facility there.
Do we need a motion to?
That's correct. He's ready, so it would be a motion, and then we'll do a second.
So moved.
It's been moved by J.P. Pond, second by J.P. Maxwell. Discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Any public comments? You're good, Mr. Pastor. Thank you very much. Any public discussion? Okay. Is this
It's an emergency
roll call?
ordinance, so we only have to read one time.
That's right. Ms. Patty, you want to do the roll call?
Joel Maxwell,
Yes.
Joe Patterson,
Yes.
Butch Pond,
Yes.
Fred Roush,
Yes.
Bill Ussery,
Yes.
Daniel Balls,
Yes.
Harvey Bowman,
Yes.
Alicia Devins, Robert Dennis, Lisa Ecke, Ann Harbison, Colleen Browning, Tom Lindstrom, Eva Madison, Sue Madison.
All right. Item 9, J.P. Ecke.
Yes, thank you, Judge. This is an ordinance. I'm sorry, thank you. This is an ordinance that was brought to us by the assessor. And what we're doing is partnering with the assessor's office and incentivizing continued education and certifications. And from here, I don't know if I need to toss it to my co-chair, J.P. Pond, because he was the one that was chairing it and I was out. So I didn't know if he had any other comments, but if you would, Mr. Lester, read the ordinance.
An ordinance creating a certificate incentive program for the Washington County Assessor's Office and authorizing payments pursuant to that program.
So we have a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
A motion by J.P. Ecke, second by J.P. Dennis. Any discussion? J.P. Upon?
Yes, the assessor's office is, of course, it's important that the folks in there in that office stay very well informed, very well trained and educated, and because what they come out and do and look at your property and how you've developed it, cared for it, or what kind of condition it is in, they determine the value of your property, therefore determining what kind of tax you're going to be, property tax you're going to be charged. And it's important to me that these folks have incentive to take in all the training they can. So I would be for this. Thank you.
Any other discussion? J.P. Harbison.
Now, do I understand correctly that he has money in his budget to do this, and there will not be any need for funds to come out of the general fund?
Correct. That's what we understood.
Understood. Yes, ma'am.
Here's our assessor.
Yes, sir.
Which one?
Oh, glad to have you. Thanks, Phil.
Right out in the back. Yes, we have an Amendment 79 fund, which goes to help support that, and that we can do that there. And then we also have a 50-cent late assessment fee fund, which we can take out of there too, because there are certain people we can take out of Amendment 79 that work in that office that would receive this, and then there are people that don't work under Amendment 79, so we would pay them out of the 50-cent late fee fund, and there's plenty of money in there for it. So,
thank you for that information.
Thank you, Assessor Hill.
Yeah.
We got a motion, got a second. Any other discussion? Motion was by J.P. Ecke, second by J.P. Dennis. Any other discussion? Public comments? Public comments? All right, Ms. Patty.
Joe
Roll call.
Maxwell.
Yes.
Joe Patterson.
Yes.
Butch Pond.
Yes.
Fred Roush.
Yes.
Bill Usry.
Yes.
Daniel Balls.
Yes.
Harvey Bowman.
Yes.
Alicia Devons.
Yes.
Robert Dennis.
Yes.
Lisa Ecke.
Yes.
Ann Harbison.
Yes.
Colleen Briney.
Yes.
Tom Lindstrom.
No.
Eva Madison.
Yes.
Sue Madison.
Yes.
It wasn't a vote, wasn't required. Technically, a vote wasn't required. This is only the first reading.
Okay. Are we going? But did we pass to go and do a second?
Well, yeah, it goes on to a second unless
The
there's
next
else
one.
to get
All
a
right.
second.
All right. So we move on to then item 13, J.P. Usry. Item 13.
10.
That's man. What did I? Oh gosh. I'm skipping my numbers here. Item 10.
Order. That was just first reading.
Are you guys going?
That's correct. That was just a first reading, so it'll go on to the second reading. Technically, a vote wasn't necessary as the motion to move on got a second, and so there will have to be a second reading and then a third reading because this is not an appropriation ordinance.
Okay. So then you want to go ahead and.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to advance, or we already passed that. Mr. Lester, will you read?
You wanted to read it again.
You would have to make a motion
to advance it to the second reading.
That's right. So is that your motion?
Yeah, that's
Move
my
to
motion,
second?
to advance it to second
I
reading.
second the motion to suspend the rules and move on to the second reading.
Thank you.
All right. It's been moved to second reading by J.P. Ecke, second by J.P. Pond. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Any discussion? All right, J.P.
Thank you.
An ordinance creating a certificate incentive program for the Washington County Assessor's Office and authorizing payments pursuant to that program.
Move to suspend the rules and move on
Pass.
to the third and final reading.
Been moved by J.P. Pond, moved to the third reading, second by J.P. Devons. Any discussion? All in favor? All right. And go ahead, read.
An ordinance creating a certificate incentive program for the Washington County Assessor's Office and authorizing payments pursuant to that program.
Point of order, just so we don't get in trouble. because we did voice votes and it requires a supermajority to suspend the rules in advance, I think we need to make sure the minutes reflect that.
How many did we have?
So, I mean, it was unanimous, but it's just if we
Okay.
did a voice vote, there's no logging of how many. So I don't want to have a program that's botched because
So we'll move
we're
to-
bad at procedure.
A voice vote.
So put in your minutes, Ms. Patty, that we had the unanimous on there. Okay. Any discussion? Any discussion? Public comments? Any public comments? Okay, Ms. Patty. Oh,
Move.
okay.
I'd like
Go
to make a motion to suspend the rules and move to pass this ordinance.
I don't think you have to suspend, just pass.
Just
Okay.
pass it.
Motion to pass, second by
Second the
JP.
motion to pass.
Second by JP Pine. Go ahead, Ms. Patty. Roll call.
Joel Maxwell.
Yes.
Joe Patterson.
Excuse me.
He said yes. Butch Pond. Fred Roush. Bill Usry.
Yes.
Daniel Balls.
Yes.
Harvey Bowman.
Yes.
Alicia Devins. Robert Dennis.
Yes.
Lisa Ecke. Ann Harbison. Colleen Browning. Tom Lundstrom.
No.
Eva Madison.
Yes.
Sue Madison.
All right. That passes. Okay. Item 10, adoption of the Washington County Employment Handbook. JP Ecke.
Yes, this is something that I'm so pleased to finally bring to the full quorum court to pass. This has passed through the personnel, and we've looked at every little item, every comma and whatnot. And I want to thank everybody on the personnel committee who participated and shared their thoughts and reflections. And so I'd like to make a motion to, I'm sorry, you're going to have to read the ordinance first. No, make a motion.
Yep.
There's a motion.
Point of order, though. We've always passed the handbook by ordinance. It has the effect of ordinance.
Yeah.
And you can't amend an ordinance without an ordinance. So I don't.
We're not amending.
I mean, there's not an ordinance to pass this, and because the current handbook was adopted by ordinance, I went back and looked. An amendment by simple motion will be ineffective. So
I
think
agree. This is supposed to be ordinance, and I thought this was an ordinance, and I'm reading this now.
it's not.
It's
So
adoption of the employee handbook, and it should be an ordinance to adopt. This should be
Go
an
ahead, Counsel.
ordinance form.
This was
Is this
discussed.
correct?
Right. This, JP Madison
Thank
is
you.
correct. When this came up, there was no request that this be an ordinance. That was requested that it just be adopted by the quorum court, and that's why we didn't do an ordinance, because I was prepared to do an ordinance. My suggestion would be to table this until next month, and we'll get an ordinance and get it on the agenda.
This is like a long, lingering thing. Motion to table.
Motion to table by JP Maxwell, second by JP Madison. We'll bring back the adoption of the handbook by ordinance. Roll call. Oh, all in favor? Those opposed? Okay, so we'll bring that back as an ordinance. Item 11, JP Ussery.
Thank you very much. This is what we're doing is that we're giving the Judge Martin the opportunity, or we're giving him the approval rather to transfer some money to replace some computers, and so we just need to. And he's doing that this year, which I'm grateful for that. It doesn't go on next year's budget. And so I think, I don't even know if we have to, I guess we have to vote on this.
Motion in a second.
So you're making the motion?
Yes.
JP Ussery. Okay.
Yes.
Got a motion to approve this line item transfer,
Yes.
and a second by JP Harbison. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. That one passes. Item 12, JP Ussery, you're up again.
Okay. This is money that we're getting in state grants, and we're moving it to the JDC, or the Juvenile Court Grant. Can you read this for us, please, Mr. Lester?
An ordinance anticipating revenues totaling $20,000 in state grants and appropriating $20,000 from the Juvenile Court Grant Fund to the DHS JDAI budget for 2018.
Okay. I move that this be passed as read.
Been moved by J.P. Ussery, second by J.P. Ecke. We go through a discussion. Any discussion? Any public comments? Any public comments? All right, we move on to the second read. I mean, Ms. Patty, roll call, then we'll go to the second, if they choose.
Joel Maxwell.
Yes.
Joe Patterson. Butch Pond.
Yes.
Fred Rouse.
Yes.
Bill Ussery.
Yes.
Daniel Balls.
Yes.
Harvey Bowman.
Yes.
Alicia Devins.
Yes.
Robert Dennis.
Yes.
Lisa Ecke. Ann Harbison.
Yes.
Colleen Briney.
Yes.
Tom Lundstrom.
Yes.
Eva Madison.
Yes.
Sue Madison.
Yes.
Okay, that one passes. J.P. Ussery, item 13.
Okay. Item 13 is it is anticipating revenues for the HIDA, which is the high-intensity drug trafficking area, and appropriating that to the HIDA fund for their budget for this year. So I move that this. Will you go ahead and read this, please, Brian?
Yes.
Sorry.
An ordinance anticipating revenues totaling $381,554 in high-intensity drug trafficking areas grant fund and appropriating $381,554 from the HIDA grant fund to the HIDA 2018 G18GC 0004A budget for 2018.
I move that this be passed as read.
Motion passed, moved by J.P. Ussery, seconded by J.P. Pond. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any public comments? Any public comments? All right, Ms. Patty.
Joel Maxwell.
Yes.
Joe Patterson. Butch Pond.
Yes.
Fred Rouse.
Yes.
Bill Ussery.
Yes.
Daniel Balls.
Yes.
Harvey Bowman. Alicia Devins.
Yes.
Robert Dennis.
Yes.
Lisa Ecke.
Yes.
Ann Harbison.
Yes.
Colleen Briney.
Yes.
Tom Lundstrom.
Yes.
Eva Madison.
Yes.
Sue Madison.
Yes.
All right.
Watching some really strange stuff on the TV here. So.
Oh my gosh! I just looked. Well, you guys didn't need to see that. All right, committee reports.
This is old school. Remember back in the day, like late.
Oh my gosh! Committee reports. Let's go. J.P. Bowman.
No meeting, no agenda.
All right. J.P. Dennis.
No.
J.P. Ecke.
Thank you, Judge. Yes, the Personnel Committee did meet. I want to thank Justice Pond, who said in the JSAP meeting for me I wasn't able to attend, but we discussed finalizing the personnel handbook. The saga continues as the stomach churns. And we also, our assessor gave us a very good presentation on where he wants to move the assessor's office and its continuing education, and it's like going back to school and getting 3 hours, packed in just a couple of weeks, and they'll be going to Little Rock and have continued training. So I want to just hats off to our assessor for really taking good care of the employees, Washington County, and eventually the taxpayers. So thank you. And that was pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you, J.P. Ecke. J.P. Maxwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jail and law enforcement, we continue to address our problem that won't resolve itself, obviously. We've given it plenty of time. The jail continues to be overcrowded. And so we really discussed 3 areas. One, we continue to monitor and track the level of overcrowding and the issues there. Our architect, Mr. Langford, came in. He's the one who helped us with our last jail build-out, and he's helping us understand what our future needs are going to be. We know what our current issues are, but he's helping us predict what 10, 15 to 20 years into the future is going to look like, and what kind of demand that Washington County is going to have for more beds at the jail. Also incorporates population growth, which is typically a good thing, but it comes with some additional bills as well. And we all know that Springdale's closing their jail, so the demand for our services are going to go up. So he's helped us understand what that's going to look like, and he's also helping us know what the potential solutions are, different ways to build, different options of how we could address that need. And then the last thing we discussed or got started discussing is the big question of how we're going to pay for that. So we had several solutions tendered up. We have not gotten to the bottom of that yet. One of those would be a 0.5-cent sales tax that would pay for the construction and then turn into a 1/4-cent sales tax through sunset to aid in the maintenance and the operation of the jail. Another idea that was brought up was Benton County charges a per day, per person fee for any of the municipalities that use their jail. So that was discussed. And if anybody else has any great ideas or rich family members that want to contribute, we'd certainly entertain that option as well. So we're still working through that, and we'll continue to hear what the exact recommendations will be on the jail needs, and then we'll get into the discussion soon, I'm sure, of how to go about executing the funding. So,
thank you, J.P. Maxwell. J.P. Ussery.
Thank you. The Budget Committee did meet, Budget and Finance, and Matt Druitt talked to us a little bit about the prosecuting attorney's office. He wants to add some people, and he kind of went through all that's going on with that, and we got a start on the budget. One of the things we figured out early on was that there are a lot of people that need computers, and so we're working on that issue. And then Judge Zimmerman came at the end, and she handed out some things that helped us to get an idea of how that office has grown the last few years. And so we're continuing to work on that, and we'll meet again next week and see what we can do to get this budget under control.
Thank you, J.P. Ussery. Other business. J.P. Dennis.
I'd just like to take the court's time just a minute, if I could. I got challenged on my comments about always being concerned about the county sewer, county water, county utilities, because so many people are in the county or the outside rural county out of the city. And I got challenged today by a constituent that says she cannot get water to her house, and the people on the left and the right get Washington Water Authority water, and she cannot get it and wants to know if the court can do anything to help her. I told her I really didn't know what our jurisdiction over a water district was, if any, but I would bring it up and ask, what can we do to help our constituents who are not getting water when the water is available?
I'm almost sure I'll probably visit with this young lady, and we asked that she be put on their board agenda, and she has gone, and they approved it. And I think whoever is going to sell or provide her the lines end up selling it to somebody else at a higher cost. So I think it put her back in the position where she still needed one. So she last visited with me and said that she would be going back, and that was my recommendation, to go back to the board, share that you guys approved it. Can we go back to that same well and try it again? Outside of that, I don't know if I can go in there and tell that district, or we can tell that district to do it, but they have a board who presides over that. And again, we can visit after. I just want to make sure I'm talking about the same person, but I'm almost sure it sounds like exactly like it was.
It wouldn't matter what the person's name is. I'm just curious about what the rule is, so the county Quorum Court doesn't have
the district is very amenable. They do visit with us. They do listen. We spend a lot of time with them when we have projects, and they really do work with us when we're calling about concerns that citizens are having. So
okay, well, I'll visit with you personally about it. Thank you.
Sure. I do want to make sure, and I can't recall, Tom Sism, did we introduce you last month at the Quorum Court? I think that was your first. Tom Sism, our new court reporter with the Democrat Gazette, and I don't recall if I introduced, so I just want to make sure we did that in our court. We'll welcome you. And then also the governor appointed Ms. Colleen Briney, Associate Dean over at the U of A, Provost office, I'm sorry, the Provost office over there at the U of A, and so we welcome you as well. Again, visit with Ms. Briney here. She'll only be here for a few months, replacing J.P. Keeklak, who went to go and teach down in Little Rock. So we'll have you for a few months, and then I think in January, however the elections shake out, we'll have another J.P. here. So again, welcome. Say it again. Oh, unopposed, that's right. And again, our hearts to you, J.P. Lundstrom. We love Miss Joyce, and so anything we can do, obviously, make sure you let us know. We're here. All right. Any other business? All right. Take a motion. Motion to adjourn. Second. Court